Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamus Report. I'm your host, Afridamus. I want to welcome you to today's edition of the Afridamus Report. If you missed out on yesterday's show, the Black Redneck Show, the history, you can go and check that out. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Don't just lurk around and, don't like it. I understand sometimes some of the topics are tough on people because what they say, the truth shall set you free. You've had many people, many different people that went to Africa and they painted this glossy, picture of Africa. Therefore, making people like me who speak about what the realities are, the truth, makes us sound like we are negative, you see. But the honest truth is, are Africans today, the question is to Africans from my observation. And I'm going to give you everything that I've seen based solely in truth because the universe is fair. The universe would give you back what you put out. The energy that you put out there, that's the energy you get back. You see people who are from Africa or of African origin always talking and complaining about how other people treat them. But the question should be, how do Africans treat Africans? If other people are so wicked and cruel to Africans, why is it destitute Africans always run to those people? Obviously, common sense would tell you that is because of those treatment. Are all Africans the same? Can Africans ever unite? How does the average African think? In fact, I can tell you, being somebody who left Africa many, many years ago and then returning, where, your cultural norms have changed, the way you understand the world have changed, and even your status. Yes, because you see, your passport dictates what your status would be in the world. So if you have American passport, which I have, you get the premier #1 treatment. So last time when I said it, many people, they were in denial. They were in their feelings, not understanding that this world, these countries are a corporation. It is a Western concept, and that concept is what rules the world. And Africa is in the bottom because you see, African people do not treat African people well. African people discriminate against African people with no problem. In fact, they have no problem explaining it to your face. So, therefore, wouldn't it be fair to ask yourself these questions? Why should other people treat Africans better than how Africans treat other Africans? Isn't that a fair question? Indeed. And I would share my experience of what I've seen going back to the country where I, you know, originally came through. Because you see, for me, I'm not limited by location. I came through Africa, through Africa. You see, in the midst of darkness, light shall come through. And you want to be that light. It doesn't mean that everybody, the things I'm about to describe here, it doesn't mean that everybody think that way. Oh, that's where their heart and spirit is. But we also have to assess these things. Is it easier for an African person, easier and safer for Africans to travel around Africa than it is in Europe and America? Because I did go back there, I traveled from just Gambia, a country that is within Senegal. When you get there, you would be aware that there is definitely a border. You come to the Gambian border, they process you, they check your bags, full-time security, and in fact, Kunte Kinte, you guys saw him in the video who I was with. He would pull out his Gambian ID, and I have my American passport. So the treatment changes a little bit. I get some privileges. So for those of you that pretend like you don't recognize that, that's on you, because you see the world is fair. The energy you put out there, that's what you get back in return. Because you see, I live a pretty high standard in the United States. And I continue to demand that spiritually wherever I go. So I am the equation here. I am not caught up in, locational thinking to say, okay, because this is how people perceive an African person. So therefore, I came through Africa. I have to succumb to that. No, you have to call out things for what they really are. And I have seen through those borders how Africans treat other Africans. Literally, people that look alike speak the same language. It is an actual border. So, for those of you that like to say there is, oh, all Africans are the same, there is no border, I don't, the realities do not show that. And then you come to discrimination. Africans cry about discrimination all over the world. They demand great treatment from other people. That shows that they know that people should be treated the same. I've covered even xenophobia news here from South Africa. And as usual, you guys know Nigerians, they flee Nigeria to other countries, all around Africa, Europe, everywhere, for whatever reason. But now, because somebody left their country to come to your country, we are seeing how the Europeans and Americans, meaning white people, how they treat people who are completely different from them. Different language, different skin color, different culture, different way of thinking. People who even profess to blow up these white people, to destroy white people's culture. We see how the white people treat them. They treat even their enemies fairly. But now you would get Africans face a little bit of discomfort, they complain. But now, how do Africans treat Africans? Today, that's what I want to talk about. On my way to the Gambia, flew through Morocco. So in Morocco, we had a long layover. But in Morocco, they understand that people who are Americans are used to comfort, or European country. They provided hotels for them. And I saw people who originally were from the same countries, from Gambia, but they have the Gambian passport. They were waiting on the floor over there. They had their mats spread out, laying there. Some of them are praying. One would say, oh, the Moroccans treat people differently. But no, go to the Gambian airport and see how Gambian people treat Gambians. You know, my flight coming back, the first one, I missed it because of, when I walked in, I went by what was said on the website. So, you know how a passenger, you see, you come to the airport, you see people, let's say you're running behind a bit, they would rush you and try to help you. They'll be like, hey, come on, the flight is about to leave. No, but I'm talking to two security people. They have their prayer beads. Let me show you one of the prayer beads like this. So, because it is Ramadan, so these people, you know, they don't do anything the right way. They cheat throughout, and people wonder why African countries are not winning, because you cannot cheat your way around the universe. It's not possible. These people, even heaven, they want to cheat their way in. So they are employed by the government, right? Their job, they came to work. They are supposed to serve people. But here I come, right? These people are nonchalantly just sitting there with their prayer bead because they said it's Ramadan, going like this. And I'm like asking them questions, for whatever reason, they just deliberately misleading me, just, they ignoring me. And then I saw the Air Morocco personnel, who is a Gambian person. He's talking to some lady. So I come in, he's like, oh, you're running late. I was like, okay, then process me. He's just laughing, giggling with this woman. Mind you, this is a Air Moroccan employee. People, those of you that are fair, pay attention. You know that what I'm about to tell you here. I understand in the United States there are assholes, but no airline employee would treat you the way that I'm about to describe this. These people have a chip on their shoulder. These people are agents of Satan. They pretend and they like to flaunt their religion. You are there to work. But you see, they use their religion to tell you it's because of the Ramadan that is making them be evil to one another. But do they treat white people the same way? You see, this man, when I approached him, and he's just giggling with this woman, like you would think he's in a happy mood. So naturally, somebody from an airline would be like, sir, you are running late. Come on, let's process you. He said, you are late. That's it. I was like, but this woman is going into the flight. How is that possible? He just flipped me off, literally, people. This is a Gambian person, flipped me off. Imagine, I'm a customer. This man, at that moment, he didn't care that he just cost me $1,500 because I had to rebook. I had to rebook. So if I were just another ordinary Gambian there who is financially strapped, financially deficient, and that man did that to him, how would that person have continued on their journey? But he didn't care. Where did that come from? And mind you, I'm originally from that place, from that country. So it is high time for Africans to accept that the hatred in their heart is what is being manifested, and the spirit is caught on by people and it boomerangs right back to them. Not all, but most. I mean, you look at it in South Africa. How do they deal with people they don't like? The immigrants. How do they deal with them? Ordinary citizens can be vigilantes and go do whatever they want to them. This is common in other African countries. Let's just keep it 100. We've seen videos of Wadi Maya, a popular African YouTuber, the obstacles he faces in these African borders. So until Africans really face this reality and speak about it candidly, do Africans have the moral high ground to demand good treatment from the white man, the Chinese, and other people? Because Africans, when they face obstacles in Africa, there's a reason why they don't run to the other African countries. Even if they go there, it's just a transit to get to the white man's land. Have you ever asked yourself why that is? If you are not from an African country and you're just even next door, from next door, they are xenophobic towards you. That word that they say xenophobic. You don't have rights. In fact, I was in a bank in the Gambia. They call it the Eco Bank, that is the Pan African Bank. They deliberately discriminated against me because what they did there, here in the United States or any civilized Western nation, it will be against the laws. It is discrimination, point blank. But the scenario I'm about to explain here, I would point out that these people, they lack a sense of justice and a sense of uh, what discrimination is. And it dawned on me. I said, the universe is fair. Now it makes sense why Africans face the obstacles they face wherever they go, because there's no sense of justice amongst many. You go from one country to the other, or from one region to the other, they hear accent, they jack up prices for you. They think that it's a come up, but really, it's called lazy poverty. You're keeping yourself in poverty because of your dishonesty with dealing with people. It's better to be honest than in your dealings. Then the universe would give you back the truth. You see, when you get there at the Echo Bank, these people, instead of them serving you, they think you are supposed to be the one serving them. I had a woman. She is supposed to be the customer service woman. People, I want you to listen to this carefully. Imagine walking into a bank in the United States, and then the customer service person is telling you you gotta wear a mask, right? But the other bank employees are not wearing masks. They said it's the policy. Some other customers are not wearing the mask. And then, but they are asking you, just you, to wear the mask. And you question that. These people did not see the hypocrisy in this. To even make it worse, there was a woman standing outside. And I'm furious. I could not believe the discrimination I'm facing. I just let this woman, she told me she wasn't going to serve me until I wear a mask. And I pointed out that what about all these people that are not wearing masks? She didn't see any issues with it. She wanted me to get up and go outside to go look to buy masks from vendors. Mind you, because their lines are so long. Things that take 2 minutes, they would turn it into 30, 40 minutes. The customer service people, the bank tellers, they would be on their telephone. They look at you as if they are upset that you showed up. Showed up to that bank to bring business to that bank. They would be on the phone talking personal things in front of the customer. They would frown their face and they would go out of their way to make things difficult for you. I'm just telling you my story of going to a country in Africa where I'm originally from. So you take a picture, a note in your mind what it would be like for somebody who isn't from there. Take those mental notes. That's why I'm taking my time to explain this slowly. Why it is going to be hard for African countries to prosper, because the Africans, their hearts are not open to one another. They discriminate. That is the truth. People don't want to say it, but that's the reality. So this woman in that hot weather, she says she's not going to serve me. And these people, their hearts are hard as stone. This woman, the way she was even looking at me, the way she treated me, is as if she knew me personally. Her anger was manifested. The woman sitting next to her, a hypocrite. This is at a bank customer service. She wasn't wearing a mask herself. She hypo- she was a hypocrite. She said, "Well, yeah, you have to wear the mask. Everybody wears it." I was like, "Ma'am, you're not even wearing it." As I'm speaking, a guy shows up with a telephone on his ear talking in Wolof, spitting all over. They had no problem with him. So I took my backpack. I had a shirt there. I pulled it out and put it over my face. And these people were literally okay with this. They did not care that they treated me unfairly. They discriminated against me right in front of me. They collaborated with each other and they did not care. No shame. And you know what I was thinking? I said, I wish these people were in America. I have no problem with the white people discriminating against these people. But the white people have conscience. And even though I pointed out the hypocrisy, they did not care. To make matters worse, I step out and there was a lady outside the bank who is a beggar. She was begging. She wants people to be sympathetic to her so she could tell I'm upset and I'm explaining this. This is how she justified it. She's like, "Oh, my brother, don't worry. It's not a big deal. They thought maybe you were a Black American." And I was like, so if I were a Black American, it's okay to treat me differently? I said, but I'm a human being. But mind you, this woman who's outside the bank, she wants you to feel sorry for her, but she doesn't have the concept of fairness. So that's why when you see people in certain situations, don't play God and try to say you're feeling sorry for them. That's not your job. Their thought process. This woman she's justifying to me why it is okay for that to happen to me. Another time, they thought I was a Nigerian. They thought I was a Nigerian. And that made it okay to discriminate against me. Think about that for a minute. Not to even speak of you come to the airport, the way they treat people. Disgusting. But I have a video here, an interview that happened on Kinganda, because I don't want people to say, "Oh, Afridamus, you're just being dramatic, you misunderstanding this." I want to bring evidence of somebody who travels around Africa with an African passport to share their experience, and I'm going to analyze it. And you would know if Africa can unite or not. Even when I was there in the Gambia, spoke with some people from Sierra Leone, they were complaining about being harassed by the immigration there. It's supposed to be ECOWAS, right? But they get harassed. But you see, these Sierra Leoneans that even complain. I remember when I was a kid in Sierra Leone, there are people harassed, people who are not Sierra Leoneans either. Nobody told me this. I saw this with my own eyes. So you see, what goes around comes around. You cannot cheat your way into heaven, just as you cannot cheat your way around the universe. The laws of the universe are strong and permanent. When you have ill will in your heart towards people, the world will serve you that dish. And that's what is happening to most Africans. I know people are not going to like me laying these facts out, but those of you that are observant people, that are honest, you know that I'm not making this up. But before we get into this video here, let me do the proper thing by playing the copyright, you know, infringe, so that I don't get a strike. So we're going to start with that, and then we get into the video. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that beautiful? That nice compilation there, just to show you that despite, even in the midst of all the negativity, the place is beautiful. It was amazing. But you see, I'm not here to complain, but I'm here to set the record straight. Because you see, even here in the United States, according to the laws, I have faced discrimination. And I fought the case, sued the system, which is the state, because that's what the laws are, right? In the United States, you could do that. But in these countries, can you sue for being discriminated against? You cannot. So what did I do? Instead of complaining to say white people this, white people that, because this happened at an employment place, what did I do? I did the thing that everyone's supposed to do. I created my own employment. Therefore, I didn't need them. So in Africa too, you can do the same thing. You can train these people by creating your own system, just like the Indians do or the Chinese do. Because you see the Africans that work for them, you see how they act properly, they do their jobs. But they don't do that when it comes to African to African. Have you ever wondered about that? So we have to speak the truth. So I'm going to start this video here and then I'll break it down. Let's go.
My question for you guys, are we really good people? Or we just pretend, we just cry, oh, the world is bad, everybody hates us.
What's good, King Gonda? Welcome back to another episode of the Repat Podcast. And guys, I'm so glad that you're spending time here today with us. I have a very, very special guest, one of the most known Africans in the Francophone African community. Also, he's been on here before, very good fighter, but even a better intellectual. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. Well, it's me. My name is Zach Mwikasa, the Black Warrior. I'm a professional boxer, former Africa heavyweight champion, world kickboxing champion, and it's always a pleasure to be here. Share this great experience with you guys.
Give him a round of applause. All right, and then we met in 2020. There was a big, huge guy that stopped me from playing my basketball game, and when I looked up, I was scared, so I had to stop and see what was going on. And I was like, man, this guy like a fighter, and he was. But we got to talking, and he was just really a strong Pan-African brother, one of the strongest in the world. He just doesn't give as much credit because of the French-speaking community that he's in. But Brother Zach, unlike me, has traveled to many, many places around the world, especially in Africa. And when I'm coming into Africa and I'm traveling, I'm not experiencing it, even though technically I'm African. Mm-hmm. But by citizenship and culture, I'm an American. So when people hear my accent,
O'Shea is absolutely correct about that. You know, when I said when you have the American passport, you have advantage. You know, you have some of the, childish people that came talking about, oh no, Afridamus, you have a green card. Well, that is in fact not true. I have an American passport, and the treatment that O'Shea is talking about, I totally understand and I get it. When I got to Morocco, like I said, they gave me, being an American, hotel and all the other, even other Africans that have American citizenship, hotels and Europeans. But if you have just the straight Gambian passport or the Nigerian passport or any other African passport, they didn't receive that type of treatment. Imagine in America, they do something like that. The Africans would cry foul. They would say that's discrimination. But over there, they accepted it. They accepted it. You know, when I asked the guy, I said, look, this layover is going to be long. So what am I going to, I need accommodation. He said, you American? I said, yes. He said, you get free hotel. Come with me. You see? So, but, the Africans, people from other African countries, even from where I came from, I saw them, they were okay with where they were put. So the way you see yourself, that's the way you will be treated. That's just reality. So I don't want people to start getting upset over, the facts. So this man that O'Shea is interviewing, he traveled around Africa and he's going to spill some shocking truths that most of you are not going to like.
and when I'm coming into Africa and I'm traveling, I'm not experiencing it, even though technically I'm African. Mm-hmm. But by citizenship and culture, I'm an American. So when people hear my accent, I feel like I'm getting treated maybe a little bit better. But how is the discrimination? Because I've heard people like Whyte talk about it, mm-hmm. and you travel a lot through Africa all the time, everywhere. How is the discrimination as an African traveling throughout your own home continent?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I've had an opportunity to really travel quite a bit. Mm-hmm. To be honest with you, I get much better treatment traveling to Europe, to the
Wow.
US, that I get at the immigration in Africa. What is he dealing with?
He's absolutely correct. Even though I told you, you guys remember my scuffle at the Belgian airport when these people were acting like Nazis. I was able to check them. I was able to speak my mind to them, right? But try that at an African airport and in the Gambia. Like I was in the bathroom, there was this airport employee comes in there. This is supposed to be an international airport. And I don't know, it's like they use this Dettol thing. They want to clean the place, and the place stinks more than that. They should try different cleaning supplies. I don't know why an entire airport, nobody ever, it could come up with something, to say, hey, don't use this thing here, and the bathrooms are so small. And the people that work there, they think, they are the ones who it's like this is for them, it's not for the customers. You see? So the man gave himself this power to, in the airport, he goes in, doing ablution for prayer. He puts his feet in the sink, small sink, and then started shaking his foot off, spreading water on people. I was like, excuse me, sir, that's inappropriate. You can't be doing that. He said, oh, I'm gonna pray. So because you are going to pray, like that gives you the right to do this. So it's like there is no like caring for other people. Like they don't care about other people, it's like self-centered. Everything is about them, like literally when you talk to a lot of these people at the airport, the attitude right away, what they give you is, you don't have any right that we respect here. And I'm not saying it's all of them. I've run into some who are nice, but this is not coming just from me. I'm giving what is factual. So if we're going to talk about, how evil white people are, look at you as an African, like this man is saying, he gets way better treatment when he traveled to Europe, European countries, or the United States. It's completely different. The way those people act, if they act like that in American airports, people would be outraged. Imagine getting yelled at. You are a grown man getting yelled at. And now you have to think for yourself like, okay, they know they can waste your time because these people are already angry, right? They can waste your time. They have absolutely no problem doing that. So you have to bite your tongue and just pretend like you did not understand what they are saying. And then after that, mind you, after they piss you off, wind you, you go in and you come to the next crew, and that crew, they try to ask you for money. So you mean to tell me you just treated me like assholes? So I gotta give you guys money for treating me like an asshole? That's just the truth. So what this man is saying, let's hear him out. Not just from me, but let's hear him also. You guys remember I told you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this fantasy to try to, paint this rose petals, view of Africa, it's not real. It's not real.
Uh-huh.
How come he's doing good? He's driving a big car and I'm not? I'm
Oh.
from here. That should be me. The house is living in
Okay.
should be mine.
Okay. Okay.
It's very painful to accept. One of the most difficult things to do is to look at yourself in a mirror and say, listen, I think I've got flaws and I need to fix them. I've been to an African country. I don't know if I should say the name. I just
No. Don't say the name.
I don't want to make people, I don't want to make people feel bad.
Right.
Come on, O'Shea. We have to name names. If you're going to do the interview, do it all the way. Don't do half-ass interviews. We want names because that's going to help people.
As soon as I arrived, went to immigration, and the first question I was asked was, okay, so when are you leaving our beautiful country?
Wow.
That was on arrival. When are you leaving our beautiful country?
They just looked at your passport.
Yeah.
Because he has Congolese passport from one African country to the other. So when people are screaming, oh, Africa is going to unite, ask yourself, how do Africans feel about other Africans? That's what you must ask yourself. And then the answer will be right in front of you. Look at how O'Shea is shot. Imagine white people saying that to, Africans, and as they should. Welcome to our beautiful country. When are you leaving? But imagine white people saying that. It's going to be other white people going, oh my God, I can't believe you said that to the African. But yet those same Africans would turn around and tell the white people how evil they are. Evil for allowing you to come in. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay? In this world, you get what you put out. That's just reality.
Like, dude, really, if you don't like your job, let somebody else do it.
Right.
Go work as a, I don't want to mention names, I don't want to, be condescending or anything. I just feel like it's very easy to say it's stereotypical. Not all Africans are like that. Yeah. But why those Africans are in immigrations?
Right.
Why are they the ones in immigrations? I went to another country very close to here.
The same question he's asking. Yes, people would say not all Africans. I get that. But the same question he's asking, I've asked that. How come those are the people in these positions? In the immigrations, they're the ones at the airports, they're the ones, even though, many of you like to complain about the police. I didn't have the police harass me at all. The police were nice. But certain key positions, places like a bank, imagine a country's commerce, runs through banks. So if you have people who are bitter, angry, for whatever reason, it's gonna retard the place. It's going to retard the country. You show up at a bank, and the bank person is saying, I'm not serving anybody because I'm eating breakfast. You are on the clock, ma'am. Imagine in America, you show up at a bank and they say that to you. Imagine that. If you're black, you're going to cry racism if that bank teller was white. The reason why I'm throwing that out there, I'm just saying people are shitty over there. Not all, but most. But most. In the middle of traffic, I see two opposing, drivers parked in the middle of traffic. Imagine how much anger you must have in you in front of the cop. And they have this thing where they have, wherever you go, you see female cops. I've noticed that now traveling, with their new world order thing, they put women in charge in all these places. Now in Gambia, they have these female cops all over. But how can these female cops stop the people, the men? Well, I've seen it with my own eye. These two guys, they decided to be angry at each other, stopped in the middle of traffic, and, you know, wanted to fight. The female cop was talking, they just ignored her like she didn't exist. She couldn't do anything. But the anger, the simple fact that how unruly, unruly these people were, how much anger they have for one another. That's what stood out to me. So are black people, are Africans perpetrating a fraud? Are they pretending to be nice when they are in fact not nice people? That is my question. How come other African countries, they don't open their doors, their hearts to fellow Africans, but then demand that of white people? This is the question we should be asking. When we speak of xenophobia, where do we think of? What place? So these are things we have to answer. I'm not telling anyone how to live, but I'm telling you what is in front of you and I, the truth.
Where everything was right. My passport was good, my visa was good, but before I walked past, they're trying to create something like, hey, this date is not quite right. The paper is old, and some really stupid things like that. And you feel like they put you in a position, they put pressure on you in a way where you feel forced to do something, to give money, in order to be treated in a way that you should be treated. But as opposite to that, when you see a white man coming to Africa, when you see an Indian man, for instance, they are treated in a much better way. They're welcome. They're like, okay, hi, these are investors.
Oh.
But African nationals are treated differently, and that's not nice.
And they don't even know that you're one of the most successful guys. I mean, if you look at your following, now they let you're an engineer, you're business owner, you're one of the talented, like W.E. Du Bois wrote a book called The Talent of the 10th.
Yeah.
You're one of the best people in this continent.
Absolutely. Oh, should I say that? I don't know.
It's okay.
So it just hurts my feelings,
right,
that we are judged based on where we come from.
That's the problem. Basing things on your feelings instead of reality. Look, I see and operate in the world, exactly as it is. I don't delude myself into saying, oh, it hurt my feelings. How I didn't expect this from these people. Yes, he is right. Like they put pressure on you, they put you in a position to make you desperate so that you can feel like you're wrong and pay them money for that. At the bank, can you believe it? They made me do my signature like 10 times. That same lady. I even pull out my passport to show them that, no, this is my signature to match it. They literally did it. Like this woman, just because she wanted to. She made it difficult just because she can. You see? Proud Eritreans said, are the South Africans operating on feelings too? Exactly. That's why I say feelings are not real. If you want to operate on feelings, you have your feelings, I have my feelings. If we all operate on that, if that might be a problem. But like this man, what he's saying, he shouldn't involve his feelings in it. There's a reason why Africans don't migrate to other African countries as much as people think it should. Countries that are in the same region, similar, yes, those people do go to each other's countries if the cultures are super similar. But I don't know, like you can see in South Africa, the culture is different, way different from Nigerian culture, and there's this clash there or with other people. So, yeah, let's hear what the man has to say.
Okay.
in our own continent. That's saddening. I remember a while back I was watching a video of you talking about how African Americans are treated differently when they come to Africa. Okay, the price tag
It
goes
goes
high.
up. Yeah.
They're not given the same the same prices
Right.
actually than like Africans.
Right.
It's truth for African nationals as well.
Yeah, we talked about that last year.
A Congolese person who goes to Namibia,
Yeah.
as soon as they hear his accent, the price goes up.
Right.
If he comes to Uganda,
Yeah.
want to take a taxi, the price goes up.
Right.
Why? If you want to buy orange, okay, we're the first people to complain.
So, how can the Pan-African free trade work? The moment you cross over, I thought you said one Africa. But people that think, oh, it's the skin color, I thought, you are silly. The man just told us. You do realize they know you are not from there by your accent. So it's not skin color. They know you're not from there. And then, according to him, he said the prices change. But you see, what I encountered in the Gambia, it's similar, but because I understand the mindset, I know it's free market, so I bargain. But let's say in Senegal, I won't be able to bargain because I don't understand their system. I don't understand most of their lingo. So it would be hard for me to bargain. So from one African country to another, you would always be foreign because it's always different. It's always going to be different. So that's why all this unity talk, I don't understand it. People just have to be realistic. People that think alike have to connect and enlighten the other ones. Maybe in that way, I see some hope in that. But to say the people that are in charge, the people they put in these places, because people like to say the government, but where is the people that are running the government? Where are they coming from? They're coming from the communities. They are raised by that society. So where is this type of thinking coming from? You can't blame this on white people. Everyone you meet, they pray more than the prayer mantis. But yet, their actions, there is no sympathy, no empathy. Like even doing their job, it's like they don't want to do it. There is always deception in it. That's just the facts.
And saying white people are racist.
Right.
Racism in America, racism in Europe, they don't like us and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You go to the foreign country, the next country, you want to buy banana, the price is not the same as the local. Why?
Right.
You want to get orange, the price is never the same.
Right.
You want to get bread to informal places, as soon as they hear your accent, the price goes up. How do you explain that? If you go to Europe, bread is €2 for the
Everybody.
European.
Yes.
It's €2 for the Chinese.
Right.
It's €2 for the Indian.
Right.
No, now who's racist? Who is xenophobic?
Right. Let me ask you this, because when you first told me who you were, and I looked, you was like, look me up, because you're a very confident guy. So I was like, God dang, this guy is huge in the French community, and I didn't know anybody in the Francophone community, although that is huge. You have Congo, there's Rwanda, there's Senegal, Burkina Faso, Gabon. So let me ask you this, because I know you're a big uniter. I mean, obviously you're doing things in English now.
Yeah.
But you're a big force in uniting the French-speaking African community.
Yes.
So let's leave the English countries out, like Nigeria and Ghana. So when you go to these French Francophone countries, is it the same?
Well, I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
I like to say that Africans are like children from the same father but different mother.
Okay.
Right? most likely we have the same cultures, very similar. Okay,
Right.
very similar way of looking at life. We all pay the dowries. I think in Uganda it's called price.
Right.
Okay, so you go throughout all of Africa.
Yes.
Before you get a woman, you got to go see the parents. You've got to pay the bride price or dowry, however you call it.
Yes.
We have the same social issues, same problem of visas. I'm sure you don't get that as an African American.
No.
Just pulling your leg.
No. It's
So,
true. I don't.
You know what I mean? So we have very similar situation, very similar things.
Right.
Okay. Respect. You respect elders.
Yes.
You've got to look at them with a lot of consideration. You don't speak to them just anyhow, the way you like.
Right.
So it's very sad.
And people, let me know if you guys want me to open up the lines, because I want to hear how you guys feel about this and what you think. Like, are you shocked by it? Oh, the Africans have the moral high ground to demand that other people be nice and treat them better than Africans treat each other. So let me know if you guys want me to open up the lines. I will do that here in a little bit.
That we copy the negative things as well. So it's not different. Whether you go to Gabon, you go to the Congo, you go to Côte d'Ivoire, you go to Cameroon, as soon as they hear your accent, the price changes. And it goes beyond that. If a guy from Gabon want to go marry a woman from Senegal, okay? And he's not rich, what do you think happens?
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you want that guy? He's not from here. Are you telling me in all of our country, there's not one man that's worth your heart? You haven't found anybody here? Nobody here that's good enough for you? We all Africans.
Right.
But when a white man comes, they don't ask where he comes from.
That's true.
Did you see? No sense of justice. The hypocrisy is right in your face. So Africans don't even treat Africans fairly. I know some are going to say, oh, we are not like that. Okay, that might be you. But what this man is describing, you see that. You see that quite a bit. Let's continue.
He's black. Where did he study?
Right.
How much money does he have?
Right.
What does he do for a living?
Right.
Are we good people? That's my question for you guys. Are we really good people? Or we just pretend, we just cry, oh, the world is bad, everybody hates us, they're killing us in America. How do we treat each other? Let's just be honest. You want to talk honestly? Let's talk honestly.
Yeah.
How do we treat each other?
Not
When
very
an
good.
Indian guy come to marry a woman, nobody makes a fuss about
No,
it.
that's true.
Oh, that's great. She's just, she's done great. Nothing against Indians.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Yep. You're from another African country. You want to marry an African from a different country. Now, pretty soon, the standards are up. They investigate. They want to investigate, your great-great-grandfather, where you come from and all that. The man is right. So whether that's correct or not, that's what the realities are.
There's no fuss about it.
Right.
It's seen as success marrying a white guy.
Yes.
It's seen as success marrying an Indian guy.
Right. White woman.
Yes. It's seen as failure when you marry somebody from the next country. Unless he's got money. He's rich. He's the son of the vice minister. Great. If he's just a dojo, well, just the next guy, then
next
they don't
guy.
like it.
Right.
So we need to sit down and ask ourselves the right questions. What does African actually mean nowadays in 2021? What does being African mean? Because I can tell you honestly, from videos I see on the internet, a lot of people, especially African Americans, are complaining when they come to Africa, the African continent. Okay, complaining of being treated as Muzungu. Oh, Muzungu. It's wrong. I don't think some people will tell you the lack.
I told you guys about that yesterday. The black people, they are always worried about if somebody think they are white. I gave you guys the history here yesterday. For some of you, you're not gonna like this, but you're not gonna know when you leave America and you meet real Africans, that's when you would know that you are definitely white. You know, not in skin, but in mind. For most of you, you're not gonna like it, but when you meet actual Africans there, yes, that's why they would call you white. It's not the skin, the mindset. And you cannot fake that. You know, maybe over time you'll be, you would catch on, and I hope you would be a fast learner. Because even me myself, that's originally from there. There were a lot of things that I had to, pull back and watch how it's done, how they communicate. But if you think you're just gonna jump in, trust me, you would be eaten alive. It's like a shark infested water, and you come there swimming with steak on your back. You will be eaten, no doubt, and you would be spotted. No matter what you tell yourself, you will be spotted.
Lack of money and lack of infrastructure and difficulties justifies the fact that people try to take advantage of other people of the same race.
Right.
In other words, because I don't have money, but you sound different even though you have a black skin, I'm going to...
How about not take advantage of anybody of any race? It doesn't have to be your same race. Again, he's talking about something that is supposed to be justice. If you're gonna, justice have to be across the board, treat all humans as you would want to be treated, plain and simple.
charge you more than everybody else so I can make more money. Well, that's illegal. And that's morally wrong. Look, prostitution is a lot of money.
Right.
Not everybody's a prostitute because they're hungry. If it's about money, then there shouldn't be domestic workers.
Right.
There shouldn't be ladies working at, doing small jobs.
Right.
Selling bananas, selling potatoes.
Right.
Everybody should go on the street doing prostitution. Is much more money, right?
Right.
So that's a very lame excuse, saying because people have no money. I think a lot of African are dishonest people.
Right.
And that's the reason why we have no infrastructure, because it's you and me. And don't blame the government saying the government is doing that. People in government, it's you. They're your brothers.
He's absolutely right. Like many like to say the government to a point. You guys remember, leader of the FBA, Tariq, made a song, the government song, because many Africans, they would say the government, but you see, that's only pointed out, if they are not the ones eating, doing the damage, or if it's their family members, then there's, they don't want to speak the truth. The truth has to be universal if people want to, Africa or any place, any society to progress. You have to shine the light so that whatever is in the hidden and the darkness, will come to light and we fix it. That's the only way forward. But, creating these fantasies, trying to bypass reality doesn't work. Africans just don't like other Africans.
Your cousins, they study at the same school as you. Yeah, that's a reflection of you. The bottom line is, if you were there, you'll probably do the same. We need to sit down and pose ourselves the right questions.
Let me ask you this, because you make some interesting points. Now I want to talk about you as an individual, because you've been living in South Africa, you've been in the States. We can look at your fights on YouTube. You have a big fan base. You don't have to. You could be one of those people that could just say, all right, I could be in France. There's a big black population in France. I could be in Switzerland. I could be in Belgium. Or I could be in the United States. I don't have to deal with this and these problems because I'm Zach. Like, I can be over there and get my checks. But every day you come to Uganda, you stay for 3-4 months. You go to all these different African countries, you stay for some, and your message is always trying to unify, and you spend a lot of money in Africa, even though you experience these problems. A lot of people would just be like, "F it."
Yeah.
I'm in Britain. I'm in Paris. What keeps you still pushing, even though you at times, and obviously people know who you are. So there's good people that know you are and stuff like that. But you're getting the disrespect.
So I dropped the link. If you want to call in, let me know. Do Africans have the moral high ground to point fingers at, white people, Chinese, Arab, and other people, and demand to be treated better than what Africans even treat, how Africans treat other Africans? So think about the question and hit that link and come in. So what O'Shea is asking, in a common sense society, that would, the answer would come, it would make sense. But when you're talking to people who have chip on their shoulders, they don't have a sense of justice. They do not care to answer the question because they don't even want to think about it. All they see is, they want your position and they don't have that position. So therefore, they have to treat you bad. They have to be mean to you. That's the truth. I've observed it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Because the way, most of these people behave, there is absolutely no reason for it. Even this, simple fact, even if you weren't even employed there, just simply being a human being, you think about it, like, most of the time you run into people on the street, I'm talking about the people that run their own business because they want to make that money, right? Most of those people are much nicer until you get to the institutions, the governmental institutions. And these are the people that they say they're quote unquote, colleges and universities, produce. Well, if that's the best they can show, then Africa is doom and gloom. Let's just call it what it is. The link is up. If you want to call in, please make sure you hit that link. And when you come in here, stick to the topic. And that's that. Okay. Let's continue here.
And you being treated better in these other foreign countries because, of your fan base and stuff. What keeps you dealing with the issues here and not leaving like a lot of people do?
Because I feel like the fight is not lost. I'm a fighter. Fighters don't give up. You don't get into a fight unless you know you're going to win. I also know that there are many people out there that think just like me. They just don't have voices. So a lot of people here can relate to what I'm saying.
Right.
They feel me. You hear, right? They feel me. They know exactly what I'm talking about. And they want to change. And there will never be change if nobody comes forward talking about it. There've got to be somebody to point to the problem. We can't all be just fanatics of Africa, saying, oh, Africa's a beautiful, lovely place. Oh, we Africans. Great. We already know that. However, there are many other problems that we need to look at.
Can I ask you this real quick? Because you made a great point. Me and Janita had a show a few months ago, and she was just like, well, Africa is Africa, and you just need to deal. I keep hearing that also. Like when you have a complaint about Africa, people say, well, that's just the way things are.
There's no such.
I did encounter that. Oh, this is Africa. So these people, they literally just, like, they would throw trash around. You're like, come on, don't throw trash on the street. Oh, this is Africa. So the people's attitude towards the place makes the place ugly. The environment by itself is beautiful, but the human beings, action, the way they behave will determine the beauty of the place. Well, it's like, oh, this is Africa. So it's Africa. So therefore, your approach to Africa is neglect. Instead of beautifying the environment, you make it ugly. And the people are not even seeing that it is their own action doing this. But then you get some people who lack responsibility. Like somebody wrote here, he said it is what the colonialists that made us hate each other. Nobody can make you hate anyone if the hate didn't already exist in you. No one can make anybody hate another person. What does that tell you, the person, about yourself? If another human have that much power to dictate whether you should embrace love or hate in your heart, how you should think, that is a personal choice. So the excuse to say it is the colonialists, but now we're speaking of how the quote unquote the colonialists treat one another or treat you as the African. Isn't that why you run to the colonial lands? Because they treat you the way you wish to be treated. So, and the cure said, to be honest, it's not only African, it's a global black thing. Yes, absolutely. Even in America, you would get, you know, a terrible customer service when you come across a black person serving you. That's the truth. You're more likely to leave with a bad service when you run into a black person. I don't know what it is about that, but and it is the same group of people that demand a certain way of treatment, but they do not treat people that way. The universe is fair. You see, wherever I go, I get great treatment. Even the ones that bring their negativity, I always extinguish it with the light. Because you see, I treat people the way I want to be treated. But when you come to me, bring in your devilish, ways, acting like a devil, I will treat you like one, but still with love. Love your enemies. But in Africa, around, like the cure said, it's like a global black thing. There is this attitude, chip on people's shoulder. Whatever hurt they have inside of them, they try to take it out on other people. Maybe this should be a wake-up call to Africans to see that when you start treating one another, other Africans, as you would want to be treated, maybe the world would catch on and treat you that way. I'm speaking from experience. See, I treat myself well and I treat other people well. So therefore, when I go to other places, I receive good treatment. And when somebody doesn't treat me right, I have no issue standing up for, to push back on on their mistreatment that they direct towards me. Maybe all of us should be that way, but I don't expect all of us to be that way. You have to first, you know, um, have a sense of righteousness and be willing to see that everybody, it doesn't matter race, color, creed, religion, everybody deserve the same type of justice. But if you're the only one crying about injustice, maybe you are being paid exactly what's hidden in your heart. Because they say salvation is of your heart. So maybe you're being paid that. You cannot fool the universe. Dwayne said maybe it's a need to feel superior to someone else. Exactly. Dwayne, I get that vibe. And when people feel that way, that means they put themselves in a God Almighty position. So it's easier for them to mistreat other people and justify it. And I've seen quite a bit of that in Africa. And this man is describing the same thing.
Thing.
Okay.
There's no such thing, and that's just the way things are. Everybody with a normal brain, functioning brain, can fix themselves. You don't go out running in the street naked saying, "Oh, that's just a thing." You don't do that. You make sure you cover yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You go to an Arab country. It's a female, as a lady. You make sure you cover your head.
Yes.
You don't say this just. You don't do that.
Right.
I think that's complacent. That's a way, the easiest way not to make an effort to change. People gotta learn to change, and change is not easy. Look, the main reason why Africa is subdued to the oppression coming from elsewhere is because Africans don't want to apply the very simple things that they need to apply in order to grow Africa. Okay? Every coup d'etat, every dead president, every overthrown government has been done partially by Africans for other people. They knew by disposing or by bringing certain amount of money, you will always find people that are ready to use the money and do your dirty job. That does not apply in Arab countries.
But that's true. That's true. They
You can take as much money as you like.
Yes,
He's not going to kill his brother for you. Okay?
that's very true. Usually, that's very true. Yeah.
Well, I would disagree with that. There are Arabs that set up other Arabs, But if you say it's more prevalent and open season in Africa, I would agree with that. But sure, no, there are Arabs, because see, when it comes to power, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. But the price is cheaper in Africa. And until people start taking accountability, because for somebody to corrupt you, for you to release that type of hatred, the seeds must have already been in your heart. And all you need is the water for that, tree to germinate. But the seeds were already there. So that's my whole point here.
Will create rebels here and there to do things for them using you. So the bottom line is, my fight is for those people who understand that we need to stand up. And standing up begins by behavior change. You cannot blame the situation if you don't look at yourself.
Right.
So the first thing is, when you look at your brother as a foreigner, don't look at him. Don't look at him as a foreigner. He's just your brother from another country. If you remember, we all know that Africa used to be united. In 1884.
People like to say these things. Africa were united. Most of today countries, African regions, the people were not even aware of each other. Yes, there were kingdoms in, certain areas that is similar. But to make it sound like all of Africa was united and they were aware of each other, I don't know what period that was, and archaeology and history doesn't show that to be true. Maybe some regions, like let's say Mali Empire, Songhai Empire, most countries today in that region in West Africa were once part of that. So, but you cannot say even regions in Nigeria or Ghana, they were not part of that kingdom. So you couldn't say they were united.
When Africa was divided, cut into small countries. Uganda was not really Uganda as you know it.
Yes.
Okay. Congo was not Congo the way you know it. Nigeria, Ghana, none of that was like that.
Right.
Okay. It was very blurry.
Yeah.
You just came and cut the line straight and square and stuff like that. Cousins find themselves in two different countries.
Yes.
So these borders are imaginary. Have you ever seen a border?
When people talk about these things, making it dramatic, for example, like Gambia is inside of like Senegal, literally. They divide. Like some people have people that are related to across the border. but that's not for everybody. These regions existed this way before. You have to remember, it wasn't like the people that live there were just like animals just roaming about. They don't have sense of border. That's not reality. These kingdoms, empires you hear about, Mali Empire, Songhai, these were sophisticated kingdoms that have militaries, they have, sense of borders, they have governments. So it's not like something completely foreign was introduced to Africans. Ask yourself the reason why it worked easily. Maybe the Europeans had to abide exactly by what already existed. Because if you read books, even as far back as 1790s, 1735, you would see Gambia, for example, existed. That place existed as Gambia. There were other kingdoms around that area. You have seen Salem, like people like to try to come up with this Senegambia thing. Those were recent. Those places were separate. They were not the same. But to make it seem like there was devastation, people live on this other side, they cannot go to this other side. I want people to stop pushing that narrative, because still that tries to perpetrate that victimhood narrative to say, oh, the African was so perfect and one in harmony, nice people, until the Europeans showed up, drew this line. And okay, today, if that were true, like I went to the Senegal border, I entered Senegal. I can assure you, if you get there, I mean, because that border is like close. It's like driving from, here to California. No problem. You're not gonna, you're in the same place. Like no problem. But when you get to that border, you know that you're in a different place. I didn't see no white man enforcing that. Okay? That's not what I saw. So if all these things that Africans are saying is true and they keep repeating it, why don't you reverse it then? Because it is not true. Because Africans are more than happy to block other Africans out. The way my bag was getting searched, this was, to be fair, the Senegalese, they did not touch my bag. They were more freer. But the Gambian, I don't know what the hell is going on over there, the mentality, but the hostility is real. They call it the smiling coast, but I don't know if, the coast itself might be smiley, but I mean, these people they put in charge, these officials, the aggression, you know, it was wild. Mind you, these people, I told you I'm originally from there. So you cannot say it is white people that put them up to this, pulling you into, this office when, when they know you're just, exploring. You're going into the next door country. They're searching your bag as if, you know, you're, you're bringing in weapons or something like that. So it was rather strange. So the narrative to say it is Europeans, whatsoever, that's in 1884, the partition of Africa. We get it. Fine. If that didn't work for Africans, now Africans are the ones in charge. Then remove the borders if that is in fact true. But Africans are more than happy to block other Africans from entering their territory. That is the truth here.
Let me ask you a question. Have you seen the border? Have you gone to the landscape and see, oh, this is the border?
Yes.
It doesn't exist. It's in your mind. It doesn't exist. If you look at somebody really hard, can you tell that they're Congolese or Nigerian?
No.
You can't.
No.
You cannot.
Sir, I will have to disagree with you. Yes. If you look at, you would be able to tell if the person is, Nigerian from a Gambian. In fact, even I could tell the difference between a Senegalese and a Gambian. You cannot always tell, but there are some distinct features you could tell. There were some Gambians who thought I was Nigerian. Like I said, for the most part, even when I was growing up, people would mistake me for Nigerian quite a bit. Quite a bit. So, yes, they can tell. Not always, but for the most part, they can tell people apart what places they come from, even before opening their mouth.
Unless you're trying to do something really creepy. Okay. People have souls, and that's all that matters. When you see somebody, you're trying to help them. My brother, what are you looking for? Oh man, I'm stuck here. I've been trying to. Yeah, that's what you do. You don't try to make life difficult for them, thinking that by making the taxi ride more expensive, you're gonna be rich. You won't be rich, my brother. Right. You're gonna have a few cents more than you usually get, and that's it. You make his life difficult for no reason.
Yes.
Why are your sisters difficult to get as wives? Back in time, Ugandan ladies were given to Congolese men for, like, hey, brotherhood, my daughter.
Honestly, okay, I was on point until he lost me there. I don't know the area he's talking about, maybe the fantasy, but I can assure you, most African culture is not as tolerant that way. This is why we're speaking of what we're speaking about today. Tribes, even within tribes, there is classes. You cannot just marry, even like within another class, much more somebody from a completely different place. I don't get these Congolese guys and Nigerians. Whenever they're talking about uniting with somebody, they are always trying to get their women. They always got to talk about allowing, people to marry. I mean, that's not how it is in African countries. I can imagine, like especially in tribal setting, the people, if they're not from the same tribe, they don't even want to marry each other, much more across to another country. Do you know how different that culture is? But hey, if he said this was happening in between Congo and Uganda, it's possible because those part of Africa is pretty strange over there. They do strange things. So I don't know, but from my region, the West African region, the Sahel region there, it ends so. And yes, now maybe things are a lot more lax. But if you're talking around 1884 or before that, the people did not mingle like that.
Really loves your son.
Right.
Let them, let them get married.
Right.
And bring, build the bond.
Right.
That's how people actually, live together.
Yes.
Today is like, okay, why do you want a guy from there?
Right.
Okay, what does he earn?
Yeah.
Look, today when you introduce a guy to your family, you say, that's my man.
Right.
Especially as a foreigner. What's the first question you did? What's the first question they ask?
How much does he make?
What does he do for a living?
Yep.
Very similar. They don't.
Well, in America, they do want to find that out too. I mean, to be fair, come on. Like these people, so you want to come and marry someone's daughter, and they don't know if you can take care of their daughter or not, if you're gonna put her in poverty and destitution. So let's be reasonable. They want, they will just want to be strange people and then get their way. So that part is not realistic, but we'll let it slide and I'll analyze it as we go.
Ask, does he make you feel good? Is he kind?
Right.
Is he respectful?
Right.
Are you happy? No, they don't ask that.
No.
What does he do for a living?
Right.
Why?
Well, let me ask you that because these same issues happen obviously in the in the diaspora.
Yeah.
Like say African Americans married a Nigerian or a Caribbean person. So let me kind of add this because you're a big proponent, and you've really inspired me by short talks of me coming here and staying here, and firing up my Pan African energy. And we know that there are many people that watch channels like yours, and maybe they speak French, but they may be in the USA,
Sure.
and they may be in France.
Lots of them. Yep.
Okay, and then they see these problems that we're talking about now, and then you have the people who are many millions of Africans in the diaspora, whether they're African Americans or Black Canadians or Black British. Then with all of these problems that come in, how do they fit in with the kind of internal strife that we see with the discrimination of Africans here? How do they fit into rebuilding Africa and to working with the community, and despite these issues that are on the table?
The first thing I'll say is stop looking at yourself as a community. You're not a community. You're an individual. That's the first thing.
That's the truest thing he said so far. And many others. I've always pushed that. But I have a caller in the house here. Puntite Princess. We'll bring Puntite Princess and hear what she wants to say. Puntite Princess, welcome to the Afridamus Report. What's on your mind? And can you answer the question, why do you think Africans have the moral high ground to tell other people how they should treat them nice? Unmute yourself. Okay. Her mic is not working. So let's bring Mike. Mike, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
Afridamus, how are you, man? I know you know me already. Why you asking me where I'm calling from?
Oh, well, it's been a minute. Mike, thank you for calling in. So, Mike, do you, from listening to what this man is saying and what I'm saying, do you think Africans have the moral high ground to demand other people treat them better than Africans treat other Africans?
And see, that's the funny thing, man. And I've always been saying it. You see, this is what I see lately, right? People blow things, they magnify things that are just unnecessarily, like they magnify negative things, negative experiences, and things like that. See, the bottom line is there's things called human nature. Humans are territorial by nature. But does it mean, like when it's happening, it means like it's happening it's happening in a way that is just so extreme? No.
You want to clear that part. So you're saying, when you say blowing things out of proportion, are you saying that either I'm blowing out of proportion or
not you. Damn, O'Shea, especially that particular dude named O'Shea, man. The guy's he's a pretty pathetic dude, man. Like I've followed him.
But he's just asking the questions from this man's experience.
The guy is pathetic as well. Like they go around saying all these things that.
Why is he pathetic?
This is what I think he's doing. O'Shea goes and sit down with these Africans over there. Obviously, when they sit down with him, they're just looking for opportunity. So they will say things that he wants to hear, not necessarily.
But wait. We'll come to that. Do you want to address, because what he is saying, I have seen, as you see, I'm dressed in my kente clothes to show that I just came from Africa. Those of you that are just watching, I was just there. So we're speaking of experience. I get it. You want to, attack them personally, but we'll do that another time.
No, not necessarily. That's not the main reason. That's
what I'm saying, what this man is saying here, are you saying it is not true? African countries treat other African travelers better than, Europeans, white people.
That's a lie. They treat white people better. They treat foreigners better, just in general.
No, but so you are agreeing with the man?
No, I'm agreeing with you, actually. Was he saying that Africans treat Africans better than they treat European white people?
No, you repeated exactly what he said.
This is what I think. This is what I believe.
Did
This
you
is what
did
I
you
believe.
even did you hear everything?
I
He
heard most
said
part of it,
he
but not
said
everything.
he said Africans treat Africans terribly, but if it's Europeans or Chinese or Indian, they treat those people better. So you agreed with that, but you said the man is lying. I understand
No,
you might not like the man,
no.
but
The part of it, the part of what he's saying that I don't agree is the idea that the the Europeans, it's a fault. I mean, some part of his point, I think he was saying that it's the Europeans' fault
in what?
that we don't marry each other today. That
No, he
before we
didn't.
used to just used to be
He didn't.
free. We just
He
used to
did
marry
not.
each other.
He didn't blame the Europeans for anything.
Or maybe I misunderstood him for that. Eh?
Yes, because you don't like him.
No,
So you
no. I don't know the guys. I
okay.
won't say that.
Well,
Honestly, I
well,
would say I didn't get the whole conversation, but I think I took him out of context. What I thought
well,
he was saying was
well, because
just
you already formulated in your mind.
no. I knew
Based,
O'Shea. I
ba-
just don't like the O'Shea guy. That's one thing.
yeah. Well, you
So
see, when you come at topics based on not personally liking people, you miss the actual topic, and that's what I think happened here. But thank you for
but
calling
this
me.
point I will make though. This is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think people treat people according to their level of what they feel, the level of achievement. You understand? So if you black, you come around and you look like a pretty successful person, people see that okay, this is an opportunity. They can potentially get find some type of opportunity from you or something like that. So when the European comes around and African treat that European good, it doesn't mean that it's because it's European. They see that okay, he has money to spend. Okay,
So, so do you think so in America, if you travel around in the United States, is that how they treat people based on thinking who spends money or everybody is treated the same?
in America, I think it treats you according to the way you present yourself and according to your level of intelligence, your level of success, your level of education. That's
Wait,
what.
wait. You want to tell me, for example, right? If
Mhm,
I show up, I'm traveling through this airport, I show up in a flip flop and sagging, you know,
mhm.
they're not gonna they and you show up in your suit and tie, they are going to treat you're gonna
They
have
will
better.
treat me better than you. Yes.
That's not true. Because I would come through the TSA. All I need is put my shoes in the pan. You know, nobody's gonna yell at me. Like just like they're not gonna yell at you. They're gonna do their job.
No,
Um,
I'm not saying they're
that,
necessarily
but
going to treat you
okay,
bad, but I'm saying they
okay,
will give you more. The point I'm making, they will give you more respect than they will give you.
but what is respect? What when you say respect? What is respect?
Respect is basically the way you rate someone, the level of manner which you rate someone. So
So
the
you
way you,
mean
if two people walk in
so
a room,
so
I
you
don't
mean
think you would
like the way so you judge someone.
the way you actually the way you perceive someone. You understand?
So that means the way you judge someone.
It's not necessarily judgment. It's just
Well,
perception.
perception. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
judgment.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it is so that's my whole point.
But if
So
a black man,
Africans.
listen, if a black man wear a suit, let me give you another scenario. I say I
Mm,
wear a suit, I speak very eloquently, and a white guy sag his pants and he's talking like a hillbilly, like very uneducated. We both walk in the place. I would get more respect than a white guy.
again, so you think it's okay to pass judgments on people and treat people differently, based
What I'm saying is it's
on
human nature.
but no, that's not human. Again, so then it's okay for people to perceive Africans a certain way and treat them that way, right? You would be
To
okay
perceive
with
who?
Africans.
Just on the basis or just on the base of the color of their skin. If that's I
No,
don't
no, for because Africans generally tend to be poor from poorer countries. They want to, move into European countries. So therefore, they should just assume that hey, these Africans in their countries, they don't treat each other fairly. So therefore, let's not treat them fairly, right? Based on the judgment, the perception. Like if we go by what you're saying,
No, I don't. No, no. What I'm saying, I don't think any human being should be treated badly. That's not what I'm saying. But I think
But you just said it's okay to see somebody who's, like you said, dressed like a hillbilly, to treat them differently.
but not badly. Well,
No.
you won't give. No,
Right.
listen to me. Listen,
You
listen.
said you
There's a
said
difference between treating someone badly.
you use the word respect.
More,
So
I use the word respect, but their level of respect. When I say they will give somebody more
so
respect, the other person doesn't mean
so
they're now disrespecting the other person.
well well again, if you're at an airport and your job, or at a bank,
Mm-hmm,
your job is to serve people. They
mm-hmm,
didn't say there is a dress code.
mm-hmm,
Okay, they didn't say there's a dress code. I show up, my pants, I'm sagging, and I'm wearing my flip-flops, but I
mm-hmm,
have an account in that bank.
mm-hmm,
So you show up in your suit and tie. We both have account there. Are
mm-hmm.
you saying, if you, let's say you are the teller, you would treat me and Mr. Suit Guy differently based on, because would dress like I'm dressed in my wife beater, in my flops, and slightly sagging my pants. But
Honestly,
I
yeah.
have an account there, and Mr.
Uh-huh,
Suit Guy have an account there
uh-huh,
equally.
uh-huh.
So
And
are you going to judge us and treat us differently, or you going to render the same service?
so in this case, are you saying the Mr. Suit guy has more money in their account than the
It
Mr. Flip
doesn't
Flop
matter.
guy?
It doesn't matter. We all have an account. He has an
Well,
account there.
well,
I
that's not
have
the
an
way
account.
business works, man.
But it's a bank. It's a
Let's use the
bank.
bank. Let's use the bank example, the bank scenario, right?
So so
In
so
a
in,
bank, listen, in a bank, a man that has $10 million in the bank in that bank account, and the man that only has $2, they're not going to get the same treatment. You know
so
that, right?
so wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you're telling me, right? When you live in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm,
So if you walk in one of these banks, and they have the greeting people, they're like, "Hello, welcome to the bank."
mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yeah.
they would they're doing that based on how much money the customer has. Like Mr. X, who's got 10 million, they say, "Hello,
Well,
how are you?" And then,
everybody will get
hold
general courtesy, but that man that has $10 million will probably get
on.
extra treatment.
Okay,
Like
so
the man with the $10 million will probably get an extra. They'll offer him water. They'll offer him more. They offer him
so
sit in the special room where there's more AC because
uh,
they need him more.
so so I don't think you're even following the point. But
Do you believe that a VIP treatment exists?
so so Mike, I don't think you're following the point here. So you know, if you have an account in the bank, I have an account in the bank. My job as a customer service person shouldn't change. I should, you do with the 10 million, I would treat you with the same courtesy, just as, you know, Johnny Redneck over here with his $5. I would treat all of you, with the same dignity, the same service across the board. But thank you for calling
Yeah,
me,
but that's
Mike.
not the way capitalism works.
Well,
Afrodamus. I mean, I'm
okay.
pretty sure
So,
you should know.
again, then Africans should be treated with that capitalism arm, right?
No one should be treated bad. That's the general point I'm
No, no,
making. No
no,
one should be
not bad.
treated bad.
I'm
But
not.
you're saying
No,
you want.
you're the one saying it.
No, I didn't say anyone should be treated bad.
Oh,
What I'm
okay.
saying is some people get special treatment because they have more to offer. You have something
So,
to
so,
offer.
so, 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 Americans should be treated better than Africans, because they have a lot more money to offer,
No,
right?
no, 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 no. And I
Oh
never
yeah,
made.
yes,
I
yes, yes.
never. No, 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 no.
Oh yes,
People should
yes,
be
yes.
treated basis on the basis of the color of their skin or
Uh,
gender
no,
or anything like that. But what I'm saying is,
you just said the man with the most money has more value to
yeah, but it
to,
doesn't has nothing to do with his race.
okay, fine. I said then Americans and Europeans deserve to be treated better than Africans, because they generally have more money than Africans, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a general perception. That's why I don't take it personally
No, but that's the truth.
when
It's
listen.
not. It's not general perception. It is reality. Let's
Okay,
not
in
play
that
the.
reality,
Let's
yeah,
not
that's
play
why I
game.
don't complain. That's why I'm not one of those people that go online complaining about, oh, look at that racism over there. Look at the way they're
So
treating
so
black.
so
I'm not
so
one of those
so
people.
so you are okay with it, right?
What,
So
what I what
African,
what
you're
I think we
okay
should
with it
do.
then, right?
No, I'm honestly, I don't complain.
No, no. Okay,
It
let's
doesn't bother
no,
me because
no.
to
It's
me,
not
if I
about.
want, yeah,
Wait. It's not about you at this
I'm
point.
okay with it. As a matter of fact, to answer your question, I'm okay with it. You
Okay,
know why?
thank you.
Do you know why I'm
No,
okay with it?
no. You've told us.
No, I'll just tell you why. I'll just tell you the fundamental reason why I'm okay with it.
Uh
Because
huh.
that's a motivational tool for blacks to realize that, you know what? If we want to be better,
No,
it's time for
no,
us to step up.
but blacks are treating each other worse than they are treated than white people treat them. That's the topic here.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah,
So,
blacks, we treat each other worse than white treat us. Yeah, that's a
okay,
fact. Black
all right.
Americans treat me worse than white Americans treat me. So I have to accept that one.
What
I
about
live in,
Africans in Africa?
I would say similar thing. I would say, yeah, Africans treat the white, actually, I won't say white treat Africans better than Africans
No,
treat Africans. I don't agree on that
really,
one. I
really.
don't think so.
Okay, you don't think
I don't
so,
think so. White
Mike?
people don't treat Africans better than Africans. No, 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 no.
Mike? What country do you live in?
I live in the United States.
You live in the United States, walking around freely. You can get any job in the United States, right?
Any job, if you're
Any job.
qualified for it, based on your qualification.
Okay. So you can, even if you're an American citizen or have a green card, you can apply in government positions, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you're a
So
citizen,
so
yeah,
so
okay.
okay. So Mike, you name, like, can you come to an African country? Let's say you come to Gambia.
Hmm.
Name, what positions you can get, or if you can apply into any governmental position, or what your freedom would be like.
If I'm a Gambian citizen,
You came from Nigeria, just like you came from Nigeria to the States,
uh
become
huh.
a citizen,
Hmm.
apply for the jobs, and white people are not going to say, you are not from here. You get any job. So,
Because you based on your
can you,
citizenship, based on
so,
your
okay,
based
so
on your legal, based on your
can you
document, based on
do,
your legality. Yeah.
can you do the same thing?
If I'm legally in Gambia and I become Gambian citizen, yes,
Oh, really?
according to Gambian law. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
based on
Okay.
your documentation.
All
It's the
right.
system.
Okay. Thank you for your input. That's Mike.
Well, I can
Mike.
say in Nigeria, but maybe
Uh,
I haven't been to Gambia. In
uh,
Nigeria, if you come
uh,
to Nigeria,
okay.
you become a citizen
Uh,
or you're
all
legally in
right.
Nigeria, you can get a
Well,
job that you're
yeah. Show
qualified
me,
for.
show me those people. Okay. Next time.
Have you been to Nigeria?
I have not, but that's
Well,
why I
maybe you should
said.
come visit Nigeria. I don't know. You guys hear about us on the internet, but you should come visit our country and
Okay.
you'll
I
find us
will.
there.
I
Okay,
will.
you'll be
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mike. Thank you. All right. Punta Princess, did you fix your mic?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. What's on your mind? Do you think,
Oh, are you back
from
now?
my questions?
Are you back to the States?
I am
Long
back
time
in
no
this.
see. First,
I
welcome back. We
Thank you.
missed
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I just wanted to. I came a little bit later, so I did not watch the whole video.
Hmm.
But where he was talking about that African did not have a border and stuff like that, I just want to have a comment on that.
Go for it.
Yeah, he was making seem like Africa was this big happy family singing kumbaya, which is actually not the true. Even if there was no actually these European borders, people live in certain places, tribes live in certain places, and they used to fight over each other and territories.
Yes.
And if you know the history of the slavery, most of people who got slaved was enemy in tribes. They
Exactly.
go fight these enemies, and if they win, they take these people and sold it off as to slaves, uh, to trader. You know what I'm saying? So Africa was not the way he's making it
Wait.
seem like.
So you mean to tell me, back in those days before the Europeans came,
Mm-hmm.
so I couldn't just ride on my horse all the way to Puntland and get me a Punt wife.
No, most
Come
definitely not.
on.
Back, I swear to God, back then it was even worse.
Thank you.
It was even
Exactly.
worse. You
Uh-huh.
understand? People were
Hmm.
very tribalist. People were isolated, and people were like fighting for
Hmm.
territories. And if anybody came into your territory, that was death penalty.
It was more
So
hostile.
it was more hostile.
Mhm.
It was not the way like he's talking about, yeah, people come, marry each other, kumbaya, loving, loving. It was not like that. In the,
But
the,
but
the
also
history itself,
also
yes.
also right. Africans generally tend to complain about, oh, these people are racist, they treat us bad. But African to African,
Mm-hmm,
going to another African country,
mm-hmm.
you're more you Africans treat other Africans worse than white people would treat them. Would you agree with that?
Oh, oh my God. I have seen African killing other Africans. In Europe, in America, we don't see them being burned down or killed that often. But Africa, we have seen African killing Africans
Just simply because the
just
person
because
is,
they are from somewhere else,
yes.
from some other territory. We literally skin each other. So no, Africans are more hostile to each other, and I've noticed this. Africans are more hostile to each other than other people who came from outside.
Mm-hmm,
We are very nice. Africans are very nice to people like white people, or Arab people, whoever.
mm-hmm.
Light skinned person come in, they're very nice. But to darker skin and other African, we are very hostile. So I don't believe this. Uh, it sounds very nice. You understand?
Yeah,
It does
but
sound very good, but it's
but do
not the
you
reality.
think, do you know, because I see that the universe is fair, right?
Mm-hmm,
You're going to be paid, you know,
mm-hmm,
according to what is locked, in your chest, in your heart.
mm-hmm,
So shouldn't Africans assess this and say, look, because I don't know if you caught it, even in Gambia, I had a great time, but I was I met some mistreatments that were not
mm,
even necessary. But you
mm,
could tell it's from a spirit of hatred,
mm-hmm.
jealousy, you know,
Okay.
and it just
Mm-hmm,
you see that around you and you observe it. But
mm-hmm,
so many people don't want to step up and speak the truth. They try to mask it and they say,
mm-hmm.
oh, look, it is the Europeans doing this. I mean, some people I don't want to name, they would
Mm-hmm.
remain nameless for the
Mm-hmm.
time being, that come on different channels to blame everybody and their cousins, white people and everyone, when in the meantime,
Yo.
Africans don't treat Africans, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in a nice way.
Yes, I mean, I can really attest to that. Look, I like to say that we like to give we don't like to admit our own wrongdoings. Look, we still complaining of white people, right? White
Mhm.
people did this because of white people. I feel broken. I feel broken. Listen, I was not born under the colonial time. I don't feel broken at all. You
Mhm.
understand? So there you go. Like, can we move on? It's not everything is not the white person's fault. As you say, I have seen a lot of Africans. If you make yourself successful, your brother will tear you down. Like it is what it
Right.
is.
Mhm.
Even if he goes to Juju man or Boo Boo
Oh,
man or Voodoo
oh,
man,
you mean they, yes.
yes.
Thank you for throwing that in, because a place
Oh
where
yes.
people, even if you don't believe in it, but just simply having that thought to
Mm-hmm.
go to, quote unquote, a spiritual man, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not going there for that spiritual man to
To
help you
bless.
out, to bless
Yeah.
you, but you're there to tell them, look, I want you to kill Mr. So and so because
Yeah.
they are, they have all this progress in
Yeah.
life. It's like
Yeah.
trying to stop somebody
Yeah.
else's progress.
Exactly. And in if anybody says something like, "Oh, we are lover people, loving people,"
Mhm,
if you believe in juju man and making some sort of magic on other people, you know that you are actually a hater.
mhm. Yes,
That is that this
it comes from hate, hate
this is
in the heart.
hate. This is hate. They don't want some as a Muslim we do believe in this magic, right? Some people will make it that you don't get married. Some people want your business to go down or forever whatever reason. It's
Mhm.
disgusting, but people do that. But the thing is, when it comes to African, the dark skinned African are actually not so nice to each other. I'm
Mhm.
just saying that it has not been in history, and we're seeing right now. I mean, I don't know in future, but right now, as we see, if an African person can get killed in another country because he's a foreigner, or they killing each other as a tribal warfare, skinning each other, that's what we are doing. So yeah, when he said like, "Oh, we met each other, we open border, blah blah blah," yo, that is such a
Wait,
lie.
let's
I'm
let's hear
just saying,
let's hear him 1 second. 1 second.
yeah,
Mhm.
So just because everybody's dancing to the right to the left doesn't mean you should dance to the left.
Mhm.
Just because 100 people have an opinion and you have a different one means they're right and you're wrong.
Mhm.
So just because many people are supporting an opinion doesn't mean they're right and you're wrong. So what is right for you? That's the first question. What feels right? Are you about honesty? Are you about friendship? Are you about building? That's the first thing. Now remember, wherever you go, you're gonna find people that are about honesty, about building, about togetherness, just like you.
Okay.
So try to find those people.
Okay.
Look, being African American does not define you as a person. No. Being Nigerian or Ugandan does not define you as a person, because you probably will never find two Ugandan that are identical,
Right.
or Nigerians,
Right.
or African Americans.
Right.
You know, I don't know exactly what he means by that there. Um, saying you wouldn't find two identical, like you would find many who are
yeah,
identical, not all, but you would. So I don't understand, what he's saying, that there's a complete difference between a Nigerian and a Ugandan, or a difference between a Senegalese and a,
yeah,
yeah,
normally, yeah,
yeah.
of
So
course,
yeah, let's see. Visionary of love. So I really think in Gambia depends extremely on your attitude, how you're treated, no matter of your color. Um, well, yes, yes and no. But you see, the scenarios that I explain here, maybe you
yeah.
didn't experience that, but
The
I
airport.
have experienced it, the airport, and
Yeah,
even
do
at
they
the
do that the same to the white people in the airport, for instance, if a white person come along?
I did not see it happen to a white person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
but
happens a lot in Africa.
it happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
another lady, another man.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
right.
just going by
Mm-hmm.
what I've seen. And you guys know I am not the type that speak on things based in colors. But that doesn't mean that people do not operate that way. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just call it what it is. But let's hear this man a quick second.
You just happen to be born there and
Right.
you grow up.
Right.
Your values, you choose them,
Right.
or you learn them.
Right.
Now you find people that look like you, feel like you, think like you, have the same values. They are Nigerian, they are Ghanaians, they are Congolese, they are Ugandans. They're not necessarily African American if you are African Americans. So don't jump into the narrative. Oh, Africans don't like African Americans. Okay.
Okay, he entered a different topic from the way Africans treat other Africans. Again, that's confusing because if speaking of how Africans mistreat other Africans, they say charity begins at home. Don't worry about African Americans yet. What they
Yeah,
think, because we're speaking of how, other Africans mistreat other Africans. So don't be surprised if they do it to other people. So
exactly. Those, especially with different accent, right? If you come with a different African American and with a different accent,
mhm.
so they will see you different. Like it is
Yeah,
what
it's
it is.
just the officials. Let me bring
Mm,
in
sure.
think before you type. Think before you type. Welcome to the Afridamus report.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
Oh, loud and clear.
Man, long time no see. I'm
Yes,
glad,
I was on
you know,
travel. I was on travel, but I'm back.
yeah, well, welcome back, man. You
Thank you.
know,
Thank you.
I don't know if you came recently, probably if you were on the airplane and you find out, no mask, and you're probably one of those people that took the mask off
No,
mid-flight, huh?
no, a few days later, they abolished it, and I'm glad they did, because those flight attendants were
They were
not
getting hell. Yeah.
they were not nice people. These people were ruthless. They were, but hey, I
Yeah. I
took
mean,
I took my time to, one of those pretzel bags. It took me hours to eat those one at a
y-
time.
yeah,
But
man, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes the policy that restricts and makes everything worse. But yeah, I'm so far so good, man. But
so so
yeah. Go
what do
ahead,
you
bro.
think about the topic here? The man is speaking about how Africans mistreat other Africans way more than, Africans. Let's say Africans get better treatment traveling to Europe and America than traveling around Africa. Why do you
So
think that is?
I mean, so sometimes the premise, we do see that in pockets as well, right? It's this is one of the things that I've noticed, and plus, right now, just even kind of seeing some of the chat, you end up seeing people, and I just caught you saying a few minutes ago, where people are always blaming everything and everyone except fixing the issue at hand and how we treat each other,
Hmm.
which is basically another hurdle, another major point that people are not realizing, where they see Western Europeans and things like that just because they are dominant in the global scale.
Yeah,
So
but
they, they that's
what's
what they
that?
want, extract that.
But what's that have to do with the way African treat another African? Because like it's simple logic. Nobody, for instance, if you individually, can somebody dictate or decide for you how to be nice to other people or not be nice?
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
it's the same principle, because like the same thing this man is saying, because as you know, I just came from Africa, the Gambia, and I could see a lot of things he's speaking of, and even the terrible customer services that I received. And these people,
yeah.
they literally were just going out of their way, being rude. And it wasn't just to me, it was other people. And also even, yes, they did at that time, they were rude to white people as well. So we could just, it's safe to just say they are shitty people, right?
Yeah, and yeah,
And
that's, I mean,
you see that all around.
no, 100%. So there's like different factors involved in it, right? And which one you put into it. There's shitty people. Other aspect to it is that people think Africa is just one country. It's a
No, but
continent.
I
You
get
know,
that. But
but what
again,
I was saying, if I
this man traveled to many different countries.
yeah,
So it's not a confuse, no one is confused about, continent or country. Like we are from Africa, we know the difference. This man lives there, he's a Congolese. So he is
no,
not confused
yeah, but that's what I
by
was
that.
trying to.
So
That's what I'm.
he's just pointing out what we've all known. If like from one African to another African country, if a white person shows up or somebody with a foreign passport, they are treated much better than someone with an African passport. That's the point.
Yeah, no, no, 100%. That part, I 100% agree with that. And one of the reasons, if we look at the underlying, right? One, you can see that it's a like an internalized hatred. So they have this internalized hatred for themselves. So
Hmm.
when they see their own kind in Africa, they're trying to hate on them. But when they
Hmm.
see, so that's one factor. Another factor is that they associate money and wealth with white Europeans or people that hold passports from
Hmm.
different countries in the West. So that's what they associate with, and as they look at their own kind, and they're saying, "Oh, this person is not going to give me nothing," you know.
Yeah,
And
but now with the universe being fair, should do Africans have the moral high ground to complain or demand that Europeans and other people treat them better than even what Africans treat, the way Africans treat other
No,
Africans.
of course not. Yeah, if see I'm glad you get into this point, and this is a really even the question is really good because if someone's talking about oh white people are this or Arabs are this and all this stuff, but yet they're treating their own people in Africa within Africa like I don't want to cuss, but if they're treating their own kind like nothing, then how are you going to complain about how foreigners are treating your kind? Which is like it doesn't make sense. And this is the problem. This is like I said, it's sometimes it's an internalized mechanism. It's like a hatred that they have for themselves, and then they trying to associate that with their own kind, within the African continent. But yet, how can you have what do you call how can you complain about how white or Europeans or anyone else treating you badly if you yourself are doing the same thing to your own people? It doesn't make sense, you know. And I have a question for you, and seriously, and this is something that me personally, like I just kind of look at it, research and all this stuff. So when I have noticed a lot of people that claim to, Pan Africanists, I'm not even gonna include it, but I'm just saying people who claim to be like, oh, everyone is the enemy, right? The people who
Mhm.
always like say that white and all this stuff are,
That's
just
terrible.
generalizing people. Yeah, Arabs are this.
Mhm.
I've noticed they sometimes have more hatred for Arabs than white. You know what I mean? They always have hatred for. If it's not
Well,
today,
well, well, it's just simply hate, period. Because
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
just, because if you have hate, that hate, it's a matter of who it is directed at. On, it depends on what day. You
yeah,
see, like you feel hate for yourself, you take that hate and spread it onto other people. You want to hold everybody accountable except yourself. There is no sense of justice. People openly discriminate against you and try to justify it to you, but yet those people lack self-consciousness and demand that they be treated the same way that
way.
they deprived someone
Exactly.
of. They make you feel, and the attitude that is shown to you is you have no voice or anything to say here that we have to respect. They
Yeah,
make it known in their attitude. The hostility and the aggression is very obvious. It's like they provoke you. They do it on purpose so that you resist, and then they end up exercising further force on you to put
yeah.
you in a
And have
compromising position.
position exactly. So right when they put in it, and that's what they're trying to put always in a box, right? So I have noticed there is a correlation with these type of people and how they don't travel, they don't experience the world, right? They are, and I've actually noticed, how like a couple of months ago we talked, there was a discussion about docile. Are people like
Mhm.
naturally docile, or is it just all this stuff? And we had a great discussion. So for me, like I was saying, it's the lack of information, right? And when I've noticed people who are not, I've noticed people, the North Africans or other people in the West Africans, I have noticed the people in Africa that are risk takers. They travel. They're
Mhm.
either, you know what I mean? Those people are not as, you know, they don't have that much hatred because they
Right,
go out,
because
they, they
the
experience.
worldview is wider. So
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like you risk takers, whether you want to start a business and all this stuff. But then I've noticed the people who always complain about others, they don't take no risk. And I promise you, look up anybody who talks, crap about any other ethnicity or race, whatever you want to call it, you get to find out those people that are talking like that, right? They don't take risk. They don't travel. When I read about the history in Africa, I've noticed the people in the Horn of Africa, they were sea safaris, right? They travel. The people in the West Africa, you have Mansabusi and all these guys, they used to leave and send out ships to go explore the West, even though they didn't know what was on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. You know what I mean? The history shows, right? So
Well,
people, you know, so
well. Hopefully, they can, you know, bring that good spirit if it's progressive. But because the way it is, you know, to me, they are aware
they
that
they are
they're
they
aware. People are aware because they demand it, but they don't want to give it to other people, and
and
they
it's also
make things difficult for people, and that's just the truth.
yeah, but it's also um it's becoming like self self-fulfilling prophecy, right? I mean, right now I just I saw you show in the previous show. I wasn't around, but I try to at least pick up on it, right? Just like Pantera Princess and everyone else. So like we're talking about cultural, right? Like how it came from rednecks and crackers, and
Oh
you know what
yeah,
I mean.
yesterday's topic. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one, right?
Hmm.
So, but notice, and I swear to God, man, this is why I try to like look at certain things, and I'm like, is sometimes the way people think, is it because this is how normal people really think, but they are being indoctrinated in this type of cultural mindset, and
Hmm.
then they're becoming, it's like they become their own worst enemy. And I'll give you an example, right? So have you noticed that generally here in America, when comedians or just the general anybody you can associate with black, right, here in America, whenever they talk about exploring nature, going hiking, and all this stuff, or going swimming, they will say like, "Oh, are you crazy? Black people don't do that." You know
Hmm.
what I mean? They don't. And and for me, it's like that is the reason why certain people are lacking the ability to lead, because white people, as much as you could say they're crazy, but they're taking risk. They're going out Antarctica. They don't know what the hell's going on. They're going around and playing with lions.
Yeah.
They're going and swimming. So that
Well.
is a risk taker. But if Africans and people don't, or some people within Africa or here in America, if they try to associate culture and try to propagate by saying that, oh, we don't do this. Are you
Well,
crazy? Black people?
culture. That's culture is limiting. You know.
Yeah,
Because they want you to conform. That's a whole different topic. But you know, like what
true.
you're
Yeah.
saying, it's people who do not conform. So that's why, like, I'm not a conformist. So that's why when I bring topics like this, most people they act shocked, but they know that it is the truth. They just never wanted, to face it. But with time, people would learn. But thank you for
You travel, right? And I was
huh?
going to say one thing. You have a passport, so you travel. So the reason why you're saying what you're saying right now, and you can see that, is because, in all honesty, you tend to travel, so you have a different perspective. You're not in a bubble, and that is Somalis. We travel a lot. I've noticed that, in all honesty, and I can speak for a lot of people as well in other parts in Africa. But the vast majority of sometimes people who don't travel, who don't go out and just venture out and just do something completely risk taking, right?
So
For
so it would be easy to travel to Somalia.
if you notice right now, for the last 10 years, actually I would say 12 years, Somalis has been going back. There's a lot of businesses that's
No,
been
no, what
going
I
there.
mean, like, let's say other African, if they travel to Somalia, they'll be welcome.
I mean, right now, if you're saying with the war and all this stuff, that's not gonna happen.
Right.
In all honesty, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But at the same time, if somebody brings in the mindset that we opposed to, they're definitely not gonna be welcome. Because if somebody's gonna come to a different country or different parts of the a region in Africa, you have to be able to respect people and don't force your own, viewpoints onto that group, right? It's just like travel around, go see people, or you know what I mean, do
Well,
something.
you said something about white people exploring. Yes, they are able to, again, because, it's easier for a white person to travel from one African country to another without being harassed
No,
than
no,
an
that's
African. Like, for example, this man, he travels a lot. Woody Meyer, he does videos around Africa. We've seen, the obstacles that he faces. So you're
yeah.
just you've proven, the point more. that
Yeah.
we're
But
making
what
here.
I was saying, just to clarify too, you can look at today's context and you can look at it in the back then the context. In the European explorers when they were coming to before the colonialism came to Africa, they used to have explorers that were going there, right? And they would go see how all these, okay, so these people got gold, these people got resources. That's how they find out because they used to
Yeah,
send
but
out travelers.
what's that have to do with the way Africans treat other Africans?
But that's what I was also trying to include to it because this is an internal mechanism that if a person hate himself, right? If they
But
have this,
but
if their
but
mindset,
nobody can make anyone hate another person if the hate already didn't exist in them.
yeah, I mean we agree on, and honestly we have the same point over here. But I was just trying to explain that when you see other Africans hating on other Africans, especially when they're traveling and bringing resources to them, right, money and all this stuff, for them to do that, it's beyond insane. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then later
Mhm.
on, they're gonna try to complain about, oh, white people are treating like this. These same very people who are treating other Africans like crap, they have, it's like if you're doing that, then you have no way of complaining about Arabs, Europeans, Asians, or whatnot, because you yourself are also carrying, that hatred. You know what I mean?
Well,
So, but yeah, but
that's
that's all I have to say though.
well. Thank you for calling in again. Think before you type.
Welcome
Thank you.
back as well, man.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, people. He, like he veered off into another topic, but again, the question is out there for those of you that would come and watch later. You can answer. You know, if we go by the laws of the universe, if you reap what you sow, the way you treat each other, and that's how you go elsewhere, you get treated the same way, you cannot complain. It is time for Africans to wake up to that. There is no need for people to be mean to each other. Because if not, creating this fantasy talking about, and this is not like the cure, you know, brought the point. It's like it's an overall thing. It seems like a black thing. And then people get upset. They're like, oh, you want to go around the white people, like people that want to be treated like human beings, people that want to be treated with dignity. Like you want to go to a place where, when you spend your money, you get your money's worth. You're treated with, you know, um, the way you treat other people. But you cannot complain when people treat you exactly or better than the way you treat other people. We've seen in other African countries where the other Africans are supposed to be one and the same, right? But they would form vigilante groups to go attack others who are not from there for whatever reason. But you're not gonna see that in these quote unquote racist countries doing that to, like in America, there are many people who don't like the Hispanics coming in, but it is against the law for them to go around rounding them up, especially you know uh, uh, an ordinary citizen. They respect their right. So I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, we are all Africans," blah blah blah. True, but treat people with respect. Or before you come back and say, "Oh, white people are treated such and such way," we see, like I saw with my own eyes, how they treat other people differently. They were able to be nice to them. So the same way you found it in your heart, or whatever reason you gave yourself to be nice to that person, you should find it in your heart the same way and treat people across the board that way. If you're there to service people, provide the same service across the board. Like somebody said, "Oh, Afridamus, your analogy was wrong there. If somebody has 10 million coming to the bank, If they don't check in, they won't know that the man has 10 million. They would still greet the man with respect. They will still greet the man with respect. Like what a previous caller was saying, Mike, I don't know if he realized, he is justifying, later he realized he's justifying, the way Africans are treated in other countries, quote unquote. Because if we're going by his analogy, saying it's about the money, then it makes sense why Americans, Europeans, and others are treated well. Because according to him, it's about money, right? So I guess that's that African sense of lack of justice speaking there. But make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Some of you, I don't know what's going on with you. The likes do not cost anything for you to hit that like. All you have to do is like the video, the stream, and share to the rest of the people. Audrey said, what have I missed? Audrey, you have to go back and watch. But until next time, I will see you guys again.
Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Having a pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Baby girl love my bop and I like me too. No roof on my top and my babe see-through. Hating on the pen, don't stop, shit ain't gon' feed you. I've been all on my grind, so why I need you? Big flex, my swole up. Double cup and I'm pulled up. Niggas hating like hold up. What's the problem? I'm pulled up. Big flex, my swole up. Hard body, they fold up. Shawty say I done glowed up. Double text on my phone up. Fuck with your boy on the